In today's class, we're going to begin in paragraph 76 of Machen's text. So if you would, open up your textbook, paragraph 76. Before we begin here, I need to ask you, if you've done your homework, great, this is where you need to be. If you haven't completed your homework, then please, I would ask you, for your sake, stop the tape now, or I'm old-fashioned, tape. Yeah, stop the video now and finish your homework, please. We don't want to ruin this for you because this is to help you to grow in your knowledge of the Greek. Okay? So, before we begin, let's open in a word of prayer. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for this opportunity to study New Testament Greek. Father, please, we ask you right now in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, that you'd use what we've learned here today for your glory and for your honor. Lord, if there are people there struggling, we ask you right now, Lord, that you would just open up their hearts, their eyes, and their ears to what you have for them to learn. And Father, please also, if they do have any questions or comments, please allow them the opportunity to give me a contact, give me a ring, or drop me an email that I might be able to help them out. In Christ's name do we ask this. Amen. Roman numeral 1 is our Greek to English exercises. Exercise number 1, we have agathe, which is good. Then you have Teh Ecclesia, the church. Notice it's in the nominative case. Kai, and. So we have good, the church. Well, our lesson shows us that right there is a predicate adjective, so it would be the church is good. Kai he basileia, kake, we have the kingdom bad. So the answer to this one would be the church is good and the kingdom is bad. Number 2, he kake, cardia, ton anthropon, ginoske thanaton. So we have the bad, cardia, heart, ton, the anthropon, men, ginoske, it knows, he knows, thanaton, death. So my answer that I got here would be the bad heart of the men, it knows death. Now how did I get that? Well, notice the verb ginoske is singular. Why? Well, it's pointing back to the collective heart. Notice the he kake, that is the heart singular. So ginoske is pointing back to the heart. So we have the bad heart of the men, it knows death. Well, ton anthropon is a genitive plural of the men. Okay? So we have the bad heart of the men, it knows death. By the way, the he kake cardia, that's an attributive adjective right there. So that falls out that way. Exercise number 3. Hoi apostoloi, the apostles, blepusi, they see, tous mikrous oikous, that is the small houses, plural, kai, and tas kakas hadus, that is the bad roads or the bad ways. So my answer on this, the apostles, they see the small houses and the bad roads, or if you put the bad ways, I'll accept that as 2. Now, some of you might notice the tas right here. It can be a nominative. You notice how you have kai, tas, kakas, hadus. Well, you're right. That there can be a nominative, but it's not. Why is that? Well, it's because it's a relationship to the kakas hadus. Okay? So we have kakas hadus. That is the accusative plural and that's why we place it there. I forgot to mention that in my notes. Now, number 4, we have hoi douloi, the servants or the slaves, hoi kakoi. Now we have an articulated adjective there. So that means we have not the slaves, the bad ones, or we have instead the bad slaves or the bad servants. Luusi. Luusi could be I loose, so we could say, the bad servants, they loose. But remember, Machen comments here in your textbook regarding number 4, reminding us that luo can mean both I loose, and it could also mean I destroy. So let's see how this verse pans out as we translate it. So we have hoi douloi, hoi kakoi, the bad servants. They loose, let's see, ton oikon to apostolou. We would have that would be the house of the apostle. Well, if they're loosing a house of the apostle, that doesn't make sense. So we're going to translate that instead as being the bad servants, they destroy the house of the apostle. Okay? Did you get that? Hope you did. Number 5. Hoi kakoi, luusi ta heteron. Well, we have here the bad, it's the plural, it's a nominative plural, so we could say the bad men or the bad ones. Luusi, once again, we're going to translate that as they destroy the temple. So, let's see what we have here. The bad ones, bad men, they destroy the temple. Okay? Put a period at the end here. There we go. Number 6. Ha kurios, tes zoes, agere tous necrus. Well, we have here, nominative singular, the Lord, tes zoes, of the life, agere, it would be he raises up, tous necrus, the dead ones or the dead men. And there we go. Bear in mind that tous necrus is an accusative plural masculine. Machen also includes a comment here. The abstract nouns and nouns such as zoe often have the article where it's omitted in the English. So where we have the Lord of the life, it's appropriate also to translate that as the Lord of life. Okay? So number 6 is the Lord of life. He raises up the dead ones or the dead men. Period. Number 7. Hoi lagoi. So we have the words. Tes aletheos. Of the truth. Didaskusi. They teach. Tous alous apostolus. The other apostles. Okay? Good. Number 8. Hoi dekaioi. That would be the righteous. Notice it's a nominative plural, masculine. So it would be the righteous ones or the righteous men. We can do that. Lambanusi. They take. Ta dora. The gifts. Tu curio. Of the Lord. Ta kala. Uh-oh. Now we have a problem here. We have here the gifts of the Lord, the good. Now, notice here, ta dora and ta kala, they're both the same gender number and case, so they belong together. So it'd be ta dora, ta kala, or the gifts of the good. How about we translate that out attributively as the good gifts? So it'd be the righteous men or the righteous ones, they take the good gifts of the Lord. What do I have? Let's find out. There we go. And we're pointing out right here that it is note the number in case in that tala. Machen is a very sly character. He has hid the attributive adjective for ta-dora at the very end. So it's very, very important that we're careful when we do our exercises. Okay? If something doesn't look right, stop. Don't trust Machen to make it easy. He's going to make it a bit challenging for you. So if you're doing your translation and it just doesn't seem to work out right, well, maybe Machen's trying to slip you something there. Okay? So let's continue on. Number 9. We have ha kakas blepe, the bad man or the bad one. He sees. Tain Araman, that would be the desert. Kai tus escatus hoikus, and the last houses. So translation we have is the bad one or the bad man, he sees the desert and the last houses. Now, I really do hope you're including these parenthetical pronouns in here. That's so that your proctor and you and your teachers can know that you're translating the verb correctly. Blepe, he sees. Okay? Good. Number 10, protoi hoi douloi, the servants. Is it the first servants? No. Protoi is not articulated. It's an arthrus. So we have the servants first, or the servants are first. And we have here eskatoi hoi kurioi. We have last, the lords. Notice the plural, the lords. Okay? So we have the servants are first and the lords are last. Now we can also include in there, if you want, the servants first, the lords last. I was going to say we could include an and in there if you wanted to say and like that. Oh, that's terrible. There, how's that? We could say it this way, but I'm not going to do that. Do you know why? Well, let's take a look. Up here we have a semicolon. Okay? So, there we go. Number 11. Teh Ecclesia. Notice dative singular, to or for the church. And we have Teh Mikra. That would be to or for small. So it would be to or for the small churches. Okay? Graphe, he writes. Ha kurios, nominative singular, so it would be the Lord, he writes. Lagan agathon. Remember, paragraph 74 in Machen's text pointed out that when the noun and the adjective are both an arthrus, they don't have the articles. It could be both translated as an predicate adjective or attributively on this. It could be handled both ways. For here, let's see, how do we translate this as the Lord? He says a good word. That's how I'm going to translate that. I'm going to translate it attributively. So let's see how we have it. The Lord, he writes a good word to the small church. Okay? Be careful. Remember here, we have ha kurios is not the beginning of the sentence. It's right in the middle. Okay? Machen's trying to keep us on our toes. So remember, when you have the noun and the adjective anarthrous, they don't have the article, then it can go both ways, either attributively or as a predicate adjective. So I would just use context for that. Okay? Number 12. Tous pistus, the faithful ones. Blepe, he sees. Well, that tous pistus, that's plural. It's also an accusative. So tous pistus would be he sees the faithful ones. Who sees the faithful ones? Oh, right there. Ha pistos, the faithful one or the faithful man. Let's see what I have here. There it is. The faithful one, he sees the faithful ones. Or you could say the faithful man, he sees the faithful men. Okay? Good. Oh, now here's an interesting exercise here in number 13. Take a look at this. We have eskatoi, hoi, douloi. What we would say here, that right there would be, last, the servants, or the servants are last. But look what else we have here. We also have hoi kakoi. So the whole phrase, nominative, plural, would be hoi douloi, hoi kakoi, or the bad servants, eskatoi, are last. Okay? Second part, we have protoi, hoi, huioi, hoi agathoi. So we'd have the good sons, right there attributively, are first. Once again, we have our little semicolon, so we're not going to have a chi there. Instead, we're going to have the bad servants are last, the good sons are first. Okay? Number 14. Ha huios tu esketu adelphu. We have here the son of the last brother, blepe, he sees the good churches, tas kalos ecclesias, so be the good churches, accusative plurals, to curiou, of the Lord. Okay? And there's the one I translated there from my homework. The son of the last brother, he sees the good churches of the Lord. 15. Alain, parabolain, legamen, te kake basileia. Now, I see dative singular, te kake basileia. We also see an accusative singular, alain, parabolain, legamen. No nominative being viewed there, so what would that tell you? Well, for me, it would tell me that the nominative is embedded in the verb. Translated that out, we have we say, that's legamen, first person plural, we say another parable, because that is the accusative, to the bad kingdom. Te kake basileia, to the bad kingdom, dative singular. Okay? Number 16. Proteh Ecclesia. Okay, so we have right there, first the church, or the church is first. There's a semicolon once again, and we have eskate he ale basileia. The other kingdom is last. Let's see what I got. The church is first, the other kingdom is last. Number 17. Tais pistais, the faithful ones or the faithful women. Lege, he says. Who says? Well, ha kurios, nominative singular, says the Lord says to the faithful women. Parabolain, kalain. Ooh, both of those, the noun and the adjective, are narthrous. So it could either be a good parable or a parable is good, kai, tois, pistois, and to the faithful men. So we would translate this out. Let's see how I translated it out. The Lord, he says, a good parable to the faithful women and to the faithful men. Number 18. Ha agathos graphe, agatha, semicolon, ha kakos, kaka. So we would have here the good man, or the good one, he writes agathe, good things. Ha kakos, that also is a nominative singular. The bad one, or the bad man, bad things. Kaka. Okay? Let's see what I got. There we go. The good man, he writes good things, and the bad man, bad things. The verb is absent. You could have, a lot of times I'll just put a parentheses, X parentheses, saying I recognize there should be a verb there. Or I could also say here, instead of the X, I'm putting parentheses, writes, or he writes bad things. All those three ways are correct. Very good. Hope you got that. Okay, we're wrapping up Roman numeral 1, Greek to English. We only have 2 left. Number 19, agathos, ha, doulos, kai, lege, kale. Well, that looks like an easy one there. We have here the servant, good. Okay, so we'd say, since this is an arthros, we'd say the servant is good, and kai, lege, kale. He says good things. And there it is. Okay? Now, getting back on number 19. Could kala not be a nominative plural neuter? Oh, yes, it could. But keep in mind, look at the verb. The verb right there is singular. That would make that then impossible, okay? So because why? Well, because kala, could it be a nominative? Yes, it could be. But it's a plural neuter. The verb is singular, third person singular. So we have it really, the servant is good and he says good things. Number 20. He athalea, piste, kai, he, hora, kake. The truth is faithful and the hour is bad. The truth is faithful and the hour bad. Okay? How'd you do? Hope you did well. That was Roman numeral 1, our exercises for translating Greek to English. Okay, let's move on to Roman numeral 2, English to Greek. Of course, if you've been doing the last lessons, you know by now that Roman numeral 2 really is a lot harder than Roman numeral 1, Greek to English. So let's take a look. I'm going to throw my answers up there along with the questions, and we'll just go over it right now. Number 1 says, to the first church, the Lord writes the first parable. Well, to the first church, that would be a dative singular, okay? And we would also have the adjective articulated. So we have Teh Ecclesia. Notice the iota subscripts. Tells us that that's dative singular. So it would be to the first church. The Lord writes the first parable. Well, the Lord is the nominative singular, ha kyrios. Writes, he writes. So it would be graphe, the first parable. Well, the first parable is the accusative singular. So it would be tain, protain, parabolane. Why is it feminine? Well, because the noun parable, parabole, that's a feminine noun. So the article and the adjective fall suit the same way. that we have here. To the first church, the Lord writes the first parable. So it'd be Teh Ecclesia, ha Kyrios graphe, tein protein parabolein. Okay? Good. Number 2. The good woman sees the ways of the desert. Hope you don't mind me throwing my notes and comments up here as well. Not only do I do the translation work, I also put in things that I notice that I think Machen's trying to get across to us that we can capture our attention. So number 2 says the good woman sees the ways of the desert. Well, we would say the good woman, we don't have the word gunekos yet in our vocabulary, so we're going to say that that word woman is implied in the adjective. Well, let's see. Sees, she sees the ways of the desert. So I'd translate that out as He agathe blepe tas hadus tes eremu. Oh, notice what I forgot. Well, let's throw it in there right there. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, we have there. I forgot my smooth breather mark. Shame on me. Recently, I've incorporated the Greek keyboard into my Microsoft Word. I'm very tickled that I can do Greek directly into my word processor. So there we go. I'll switch the keyboard back to English so I don't mess up. So we have the here, the good woman sees the ways of the desert, or I'd say the good, singular, nominative, feminine, sees the ways of the desert. And there I have it right there. He agathe blepe tas hadus tes eremu, of the desert. Okay, now keep in mind, hadas and eremos are feminine nouns. They look masculine, but they're actually feminine. While they get declined as a second declension form, their articles and adjectives are first declension. Okay, so we have hadus right there. Okay, how'd you do? Hope you did well, number 2. Number 3, the good things are first and the bad things last. Okay, well, let's prep it out there. We have the good things. Things would be embedded in the adjective, so we know that the good things are going to be nominative plural. Okay, so it'd be ta agatha. Are first. The are would be implied. We haven't gotten, let's see, we don't have the verb me yet. So I would say that that is the good first and the bad, well, there's the word things. So that would be a nominative plural as well as last. So I translate it as the good first and the bad last. Let's take a look at the Greek. Ta agatha prota. The good, well, it'll be the good things first. Notice the adjective agrees, gender, number, and case with the noun. Kai, ta, kaka, eskata. And the bad things, eskata, are last. Okay? How'd you do? Number 4. Number 4 says, death is bad and life is good. Once again, we don't have the Greek verb me in your vocabulary yet, so we're going to say that that verb is implied. Death, we're going to say that that right there is singular, so be thanatos, is bad, kakos, and kai, zoe, kale, and life is good. Can we say the life is good? Well, remember in the past, Machen pointed out that there are certain words that can have an implied article, and we would translate that out. We could, but I did not in this one. Why? It's because we didn't say the death is bad and life is good. No, we just said death is bad and life is good. So I had it translated out as thanatos, kakos, kai, Zoe Kale. Okay? Number 5. We have the Lord of the kingdom raises up the faithful men and the faithful women. Now, we know that raises up is a third person singular because the Lord, it would be ha kurios, is our nominative singular. Of the kingdom, genitive singular, so it would be tes basileos. Agere, that's our third person singular. He raises up. Tous pistus. That we have translated as the faithful men. Men is implied in the adjective. So we have tous pistus. Kai tas pistas would be the faithful women. Okay? Because tas pistas is feminine plural. Okay? Now, number 6. When I did number 6, this really is a beautiful example of why English is inferior as compared to the Greek. It could be interpreted several ways. Well, let's take a look here. We have the good know the bad, and the bad the good. Now, we could say the good men or the good ones, they know the bad things, and the bad men the good things. We could do that. That's not bad. But it could also be the good men, they know the bad men, and the bad men the good men. We could translate it that way. Or we could translate it as, does it mean the good women, they know the bad things, men, women, and the bad women the good things, men or women. See, the thing is, the good know the bad. Well, that could be the good men, could be the good woman, could be, it can't be plural, okay? It can't be here, let's see, or it can't be singular, I mean here. It can't be singular. Why? Well, because if it was, okay, if it was the good man know the bad, well, that's bad English. It would be the good man knows the bad. But because our number 6 gives us know instead of knows, it is safe to conclude that this is the good is plural. Problem is we don't know whether it's men, women, things, aliens, Martians. We really don't know that. The English really greatly lacks. This is the reason I'm personally convinced that God gave us his word in the Greek, the Koine Greek. You know, you can't argue with it. You clearly know what it's saying. Well, okay, I digress. Let's get back to our exercise. How did I do this out? Well, I chose the good men, they know the bad things, and the bad men, the good things. That's how I took it. So we say here, hoi agathoi, ginoskusi, ta kaka. Kai hoi kakoi, ta agatha. Okay? That's how I translate it out. If you decided to translate the bad men, sure, you could do that. I wouldn't have a problem with it. That's how I translated it out right there. The good men, they know the bad things, and the bad men know the good things. Okay? So, number 6, beautiful example. Okay, number 7. The good words we say to the church, and the bad words we write to the brethren. Well, we're going to prep this a little bit, shuffle it around. I'm throwing the nominative in the beginning. You don't have to, but I did. So it's that we say, implied we. So that would be a first person plural, legamen, tous, agathus, lagus, the good words, Teh Ecclesia, that's a dative singular, to the church. Take note, you go to subscripts. and we write the bad words to the brethren. That would be kai, graphomen, once again, first person plural. We write tous kakus lagus, the bad words tois adelphois, to the brethren. Okay? Dative plural, masculine. Did you do good? Hope you did. Number 8. Thou seest the good days of the Lord of life. Okay, so we have thou seest, blepes, O-S-A, second person singular. Thou seest the good days. We have tas, agathos, hemeros. Okay, agreeing in gender, number, and case with the noun. So we have blepes, tas, agathos, hemeros. Thou seest the good days, tu kuriou tes zoes, of the Lord of life. Now, because Machen made a big deal about it back in the Greek to English number 6, it would be appropriate to include an article in the Greek here, even though it's not seen in the English. Okay? It's okay. If you decided to include the article or leave it out for exactness sake, I respect that both ways. We'll accept both for now. Just bear in mind there are words, you're going to see them. There are words in there that do not have the article, but you know what? In the English, it takes the article for context, for good English. Okay? So, and also we can rip it out. We could say the Lord of the life, yes, but we wind up saying the Lord of life. Not a problem. Number 9. The roads are good and the men bad. The roads, that's a noun, hadas. Remember, it might look masculine, but it's a feminine. It takes a feminine article, hi. But it's declined, looking like a masculine, so we have hadoi. But once again, the adjective agrees with the gender, number, and case of the noun, agathai. So both the article and the adjective will take the correct declension, hi and agathai. Hadoi, it is a feminine plural nominative, but it's still declined out to hadoi. You know, I've looked back, and even that confused me for a while. Is just the nominative looking like a masculine, or does it decline it all out? I literally had to go back into the Greek New Testament and look it up. And I found several examples here. Matthew 22:10, Luke 1:76, Luke 3:5, Acts 13:10, Acts 14:6. We found a whole bunch of them. So I went back and said, okay, fine. We're going to translate hadas, looking like a masculine throughout the entire declining, but bear in mind, it is a feminine or a noun, okay? So it'd be hi, hadoi, agathai. The roads are good, and the men bad. Well, that would be kai and hoi, anthropoi, the men, kakoi. That is a predicate adjective, because why? The men bad. The men are bad. We are saying right there, it's used as a predicate, so it does not take an article. It would be hoi, anthropoi, kakoi. Okay? Did you scratch your head too on number 9? Did you get rather confused? I wish Machen would have given us a declension of the hadas. I couldn't find it in his text. I had to go back to the Greek New Testament and wander through that and look up examples. So, yes, that really got you thinking. Well, good. Hopefully that'll embed it in our minds. Okay, we are up to number 10 on our English to Greek translations. And number 10 says, the first gift is last, and the last first. It's implied gift. Matter of fact, that word gift is in parentheses. So Machen wants us to imply gift and not give the word, which we will comply with. So I have here the first gift, ton, proton, doron. eschaton. So it'd be the first gift last. Kai and ton, eschaton, proton. Notice we don't have the word doron in there. Because why? Because Machen put it in parentheses. It's going to say the last first. Okay? So there it is, number 10. Number 11, the good servants know the truth and the glory of the Lord. Now we know that verb is an implied they, which is a third person plural. So we have the good servants, they know the truth, and the glory of the Lord. That word glory is accusative singular. Okay, the accusative singular, you know the word glory is doxa. That can be referenced in paragraph 54 if you need to know how to decline doxa. And it's an accusative singular. So we have here the good servants, hoi agathoi douloi. They know, that would be ginoskousi, tain aletheon, the truth, kai, tain dogzon, and the glory, to curio, of the Lord. Okay? It's a genitive singular. To curio remains a masculine because the noun curio is kurios. And we have there hoi agathoi douloi, ginoskousi, tain aletheon, kai tain dogzon, to curio. Okay? And remember, the final alpha is long in aletheon. We have that noted in Machen as well. That's why that you notice the accent doesn't go all the way back to the antepenult in aletheon. It stays right there on the penult. Okay? Good. Number 12, the last day takes the bad servant. We have te eschaton, hemera, the last day. Okay? Nominative, singular. Lambane, oasa, it takes. Tous kakus doulous, the bad servants. Got it? Number 13. The men are destroying the beautiful temples and the small houses. Bear in mind, beautiful will be a plural. Small will also be a plural. Okay? And the men, that'd be hoi anthropoi. They are destroying. So it'd be luusi. We have that there. The beautiful temples. Ta kala he'era. Good. And the small houses. Kai, tous, mikrus, oikus. So we have the small houses. Number 13. Okay. 14 through 17 is relatively easy in our translation exercises here. So let's just wrap them all up together here. Number 14, the righteous have another house. Okay, because the word is have, I'm going to conclude that it's a plural. Okay, because if it was a singular, the righteous one has another house. It would be has, has. So have, I think it's relatively safe to say that's a plural, so I translate it as a plural. Once again, the English is really inferior to the Greek. So we have here, hoi dikaioi, the righteous. We could say the righteous ones, the righteous men, or the righteous women. I chose the righteous men, or the righteous ones. They have ekousi, another house, alon oikon. Okay, number 15. The church is taking the other house. Okay, so we have here the church, singular, Teh Ecclesia. It is taking, so it'd be a third person singular, lambane, the other house. The other house would be an accusative singular, ton, alon, oikon. Okay? Number 16. I know the other ways. Well, I know, ginosko, tas alos hadus. Once again, hadus looks masculine. It declines like a masculine, but we know it's a feminine. So it takes the article and the adjective in the feminine. Okay, so we have tas alos hadus. Finally, last but not least, number 17. The Lord, he is saying the other parable to the first church. So, to the first church would be dative, Teh Ecclesia, good. The other parable, that would be the accusative singular, and that would be tein alein parabolein. And the Lord is the nominative singular, so it would be ha kurios. He is saying, oas a, lege, third person singular. So it all wraps up. Number 17 would be ha kurios lege, tein alein parabolein, te prote ecclesia. Okay? Well, that wraps things up, really, for lesson 6. It was a very long lesson, but it was a very worthwhile. I would go back over that material. Make sure you know that material very well. It will serve you well if your knowledge is well entrenched in lesson 6. Okay? So, next time we meet, we're going to go over lesson 7, and we're going to go over the vocabulary words. Lesson 7 is going to be another very important lesson. It's going to be dealing with prepositions. Looking forward to that time. God bless you, and I'm eager to meet with you again next lesson. Goodbye.